Good morning. Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works. We're looking at receiving from God what belongs to us and receiving it on time when we call on Him. You know, if you go into a bank to make a withdrawal or to cash a check, they have a particular procedure that you have to go by. And you can't throw yourself on the floor and just whine and cry and beg and plead. It's not going to work because they are there to protect you and your money and to protect others. So you have to find out, first of all, what is their procedure, what is their process, and then you get in line with their procedure, and it works so easy. You just go up to the teller window, you give them the number, you fill out the form, and you receive the money when you do it right. In like manner, if you make an online purchase from, say, a store like Home Depot or Walmart, there is a particular procedure you have to go through. You have to give them the specific item, the specific number. The amount is, you click on it and the amount comes in. You have to go through the particular procedure in order for you to receive. And you know, you don't mind doing that. You find out, okay, how do I do this? If you don't know, you go, well, how do I do this? Like I've had to ask my children in the past, okay, show me so that I can do this on my own. Well, it's the same way with God. How much more detailed, how much more would God have a procedure for you to receive the promises? And you know, if you don't receive something, say from the bank or from an online store, and you don't receive it right away, you don't say, well, you just never know what Walmart's going to do. You just never know what the bank's going to do. No, you don't. You find out, what did I do wrong? And if you don't get it on time, you don't say, well, it must not have been their will for me to have it. No, you don't do that. Well, how much more should you trust in the living God who is faithful over His promises and has given you all things? How much more should you expect and believe Him to have it there, to have what you ordered and have it on time? Think about that. So He gave us the procedure. And we're going to look at this in Romans chapter 4, because He says that we should walk in the steps of the faith of our father Abraham. So let me read this to you. In verse 14, he said, therefore it is of faith, that it might be by grace, that the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to them only that are of the law, but to us also who are of the faith of Abraham. Then he said, as it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, like unto him whom he believed, who quickeneth the dead and calleth those things that be not as though they were. So this is the way God operates. He calleth those things. He told Abram, when Abram and Sarah, when their bodies were dead and could not produce, He said, a father of many nations have I made thee. Past tense. So then Abram got in line. See, he had the promise earlier on, but he didn't get in line with the promise until God called him Abraham and said, a father of many nations have I made thee. He also said at that same time that this covenant was with him and with his seed after him in their generation. You and I are the seed of Abraham according to Galatians chapter 3, and we are in our generation. So the same covenant is with us. And I might add this, that it says in Hebrews that they died not having received all of the promises. But we can receive all of the promises, which is God walking in us, with us every moment of every day and providing for us everything we ask for. So listen to the steps. Abraham called himself Abraham before, even when his body was dead. So in Joel, it says, let the weak say, I am strong. It doesn't say pray. It says, let the weak say, I am strong. Abraham couldn't produce, Sarah couldn't produce, but he said, a father of many nations has he made me. Also, in Job chapter 22, he says, when thou art cast down, thou shalt say, lifted up. So rather than saying, oh, I'm just under the weather, I'm depressed, no, you say, lifted up. You call things that be not as though they were. And then the next step was that he considered not his own body now dead. He didn't look at what he saw. He looked at the promise. And it goes on to say that Abraham was strong in faith, giving glory to God. That's the next step. So we call it, we confess it. And remember, Jesus is the high priest of our confession. And then we don't look at it. We don't look at what is there. We look at the promise through the eye of faith. You see it in your hands. That's a very important part of your faith. You see yourself with what he's promised, what you've claimed, what you've asked for. And then it says that Abraham he was strong in faith, giving glory to God. That word glory is praise and worship. Before he ever received the promise, he gave praise and glory to God because he believed that it was true. So you receive your healing or any promise, and you just start giving God praise and glory for it before the manifestation because it is true. And then it came into existence. He gave praise and glory to God. So giving thanksgiving is another step of your receiving from God. In Philippians 4, it says to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. With thanksgiving, make your specific requests known unto God. So you ask God for it, and at the same time you say, Father, I thank you that I have it. It's mine right now. You see it through the eye of faith. And in another place, he said, watching in prayer unto with thanksgiving. So go through these steps, just like you go through steps of going into a bank or ordering. Go through these steps and check yourself and make any corrections that you need to make. Give God praise. Father, I thank you. It's mine. I have it now. Because God says, come boldly to the throne of grace that you may obtain, that you may take what you want. And then once you are in the throne room, you say, Father, thank you. Thank you. I believe. I receive it. I have it now. It is mine. I just want to thank you for it. I want to thank you for it. And I want to just give you a quick example when my daughter, never mind, I'll have to do that tomorrow. You have a blessed day. Remember all day, Jesus is Lord. Thank God. The word works.